playing through here, Gary.
Joe, your evaluation of the performance, Indiana's given you trouble in the two previous meetings, and you guys are up 5 at halftime. What did you guys do in the second half, and how would you assess the response after the road trip?
I think we played well in the first half. I thought, McConnell kind of controlled the game a little bit. I thought Turner was scoring the way we wanted him to from 2 and not from 3. And I just thought we got a lot of good looks. We just missed some layups. And so I was very pleased at halftime. And I thought that was one of the better third quarter starts that we've had this season. Just very intentional, very connected, very physical defensively. And so I appreciate the carryover from practice yesterday, the details, that were important to win this game.
Did you sense like a symmetry tonight between Jason and Jalen, like the steal in the third quarter where Jalen, like they're playing defense. They seem like they're both really into it.
Yeah, I think they're both finding a great balance of being dominant players and being team players. And I just think when they do that, our team's different because of the depth that we have and how much better they make the people around them. And so right now they're very committed to being both. I want them to be that. And so I appreciate that.
Joe, the last couple of games, you guys had very active hands. You did a great job on Sabonis in Sacramento, getting into the passing lanes. Over here, you got a lot of steals. What has led to forcing those turnovers and scoring the points off those turnovers?
I think, like you said, just our defensive activity. I think we're making a conscious effort to building an awareness of who we're guarding, how much we can help, and when we do bring help, we're bringing it with activity. So I agree with you. Our active hands have been much better, and it's something that we just got to continue.
And have you sensed that something on the road trip, maybe, we heard about Al kind of talking to the guys, and did something after, the first few games didn't kind of go the way you wanted them to, that maybe they made this effort, there's some kind of switch that they're just like, okay, enough with that kind of play where you're starting to actually turn a corner?
I think, like I said, I thought we played relatively good basketball on the trip. I just didn't think we were like elite basketball on the trip. And so the difference between those two things are just the small details. I thought we played with effort. And so I think over the last 2 games, we were very, very detailed in our game plan execution, very detailed in our spacing, very detailed in our offensive attack. And, I think we're just a much different team when we're committed to that. And that's hard to do over a long period of time. And, obviously, Al, when he speaks, people listen. And so I'm grateful for his leadership. And, I think it's just our guys have great poise about how the season goes, and, I think they're in a good place right now.
Joe, what kind of things, back to the turnover point, forcing turnovers, does Rob allow you to do with the 3 steals, 3 blocks in this one that you're starting to implement defensively with him back?
Just his rim protection and his, one of the things he got better at in the second half was his defensive presence. And so recognizing who he was guarding and being able to help early. And so, when he's there, he brings that presence at the rim. Is able to help on drives. And, I just think everybody had a different level of defensive activity tonight, whether it was body position, whether it was physicality on screens, whether it was active hands.
I know Derek can fill a lot of different holes for you. See him kind of be that third scorer in a game like this. What leads to that? And you've kind of talked about regretting kind of not having him out there in some big moments a couple of times this year. Like, what kind of leads to a night like this for him?
I think it goes back to the way Smart pushes the pace. When Smart gets out in early transition and forces cross matches, it really gets us going. So I think it starts with him and getting us organized. And I think it goes to Jalen and Jason when those two guys are finding the Smarts, the Dereks, the Als for catch and shoot opportunities. It allows for them to be comfortable. And so I think it's just a team connected dynamic of we're very cautious of our spacing and we're very cautious of playing the right way. And I think everybody reaps the benefits from that. Like Smarts only took 3 shots today, but his potential assist and what he did to get us in early offense is not on the stat sheet. And, when Derek is that aggressive because of those things, we're a different team.
going back to Rob and his rim presence, how much does I think everyone knowing that he's back there allow your like perimeter defenders to be more aggressive and also like be more ready to leak out early and get into the transition?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you know you have a guy like that, it obviously jolts your defensive, joy, I guess you could say, to, be a little bit more aggressive because you just feel that. And that's like, everybody always asks, like, with Rob back, Rob just has an intangible where guys just feel protected because of his ability to do that. And so it definitely ups our guys' intensity defensively.
Remember back when you guys were like first starting to lose back in like December on the road trip, a few guys talked about like playing with joy and how they need to find that again. When Rob comes back in, he's making wild passes that sometimes work, sometimes don't work, but it's like a lot more energy. Do you feel like just the way that he plays at that speed just kind of like brings
I think it's a different kind of, I think it's an excitement because of the type of person that Rob is and the type of player that he is. So I think, he brings a level of that to our team for sure. Thank you. Back when we started to lose.